Today we are covering Microsoft Information Protection Administrator SC-400. To find the complete list of questions and answers, please go to the playlist link provided in the description. If you like this content, do like, share and subscribe to this channel. Question is, you have a Microsoft 365 tenant. A new regulatory requirement states that all documents containing a patent ID be labeled retained for 10 years and then deleted. The policy used to apply the retention settings must never be disabled or deleted by anyone. You need to implement the regulatory requirement. Which three actions should you perform in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in correct order. Choose three options. Now see the answer area. And this is the correct answer. Next question is, you create a retention label policy named contoso_policy that contains the following labels. First, 10 years then delete. Second, 5 years then delete. Third, do not retain. Contoso_policy is applied to content in Microsoft SharePoint online sites. After a couple of days, you discover the following messages on the properties page of the label policy. First, status of error. Second, is taking longer than expected to deploy the policy. You need to reinitiate the policy. How should you complete the command? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Now see the answer area, and bottom is the correct answer. Next question is, you have a Microsoft 365 tenant. A retention hold is applied to all the mailboxes in Microsoft Exchange Online. A user named user1 leaves your company and the account of user1 is deleted from Azure Activity Directory Azure AD. You need to create a new user named user2 and provide user2 with access to the mailbox of user1. How should you complete the PowerShell command? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Now see the answer area, and bottom is the correct answer. Next question is introductory info, case study. This is a case study. Case studies are not timed separately. You can use as much exam time as you would like to complete each case. However, there may be additional case studies and sections on this exam. You must manage your time to ensure that you are able to complete all questions included on this exam in the time provided. To answer the questions included in a case study, you will need to reference information that is provided in the case study. Case studies might contain exhibits and other resources that provide more information about the scenario that is described in the case study. Each question is independent of other questions in this case study. At the end of this case study, a review screen will appear. This screen allows you to review your answers and to make changes before you move to the next section of the exam. After you begin a new section, you cannot return to this section. To start the case study, to display the first question in this case study, click the Next button. Use the buttons in the left pane to explore the context of the case study before you answer the questions. Clicking these buttons display information such as business requirements, existing environment, and problem statements. If the case study has an All Information tab, note that the information displayed is identical to the information displayed on the subsequent tabs. When you are ready to answer a question, click the Questions button to return to the question. Overview. Fabricam Inc. is a consulting company that has a main office in Montreal and 6 branch offices in New York, Seattle, Miami, Houston, Los Angeles, and Vancouver. Existing environment, cloud environment. Fabricam has a Microsoft 365 tenant that contains the following resources: an on-premises Active Directory domain named corp.fabricam.com that syncs to an Azure Active Directory Azure AD tenant. Microsoft Cloud App Security connectors configured for all supported cloud applications used by the company. Some users have company Dropbox accounts. Compliance configuration. Fabricam has the following in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. A data loss prevention DLP policy is configured. The policy displays a tooltip to users. Users can provide a business justification to override a DLP policy violation. The Azure Information Protection Unified Labeling Scanner is installed and configured. A sensitivity level named Fabricam Confidential is configured. An existing third-party records management system is managed by the Compliance Department. Human Resources HR Management System. The HR department has an Azure SQL database that contains employee information. Each employee has a unique 12-character alphanumeric ID. The database contains confidential employee attributes, including payroll information, date of birth, and personal contact details. On-premises environment. You have an on-premises file server that runs Windows Server 2019 and stores Microsoft Office documents in a shared folder named Data. All end users' computers are joined to the corp.fabricam.com domain and run a third-party anti-malware application. Business process. Sales contracts. Users in the sales department receive draft sales contracts from customers by email. The sales contracts are written by the customers and are not in standard format. Employment applications. Employment applications and resumes are received by HR department managers and stored in either mailboxes, Microsoft SharePoint online sites, OneDrive for business folders, or Microsoft Teams channels. The employment application form is downloaded from SharePoint Online and a serial number is assigned to each application. The resumes are written by the applicants and are in any format. Requirements, HR requirements. HR requirements. You need to create a DLP policy that will notify the HR department of a DLP policy violation if a document that contains confidential employee attributes is shared externally. The DLP policy must use an exact data match (EDM) classification derived from a CSV export of the HR department database. The HR department identifies the following requirements for handling employment applications. Resumes must be identified automatically based on similarities to other resumes received in the past. Employment applications and resumes must be deleted automatically 2 years after the applications are received. Documents and emails that contain an application serial number must be identified automatically and marked as an employment application. Sales requirements. A sensitivity level named sales contract must be applied automatically to all draft and finalized sales contracts. Compliance requirements. Fabricam identifies the following compliance requirements. All DLP policies must be applied to computers that run Windows 10 with the least possible changes to the computers. Users in the compliance department must view the justification provided when a user receives a tooltip notification for a DLP violation. If a document that has the Fabricam confidential sensitivity label applied is uploaded to Dropbox, the file must be deleted automatically. The Fabricam confidential sensitivity level must be applied to existing Microsoft Word documents in the data shared folder that have a document footer containing the following string: company use only. User must be able to manually select that email messages are sent encrypted. The encryption will use Office 365 Message Encryption OME v2. Any email containing an attachment that has the Fabricam confidential sensitivity label applied must be encrypted automatically by using OME. Existing policies configured in the third-party records management system must be replaced by using records management in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. The compliance department plans to export the existing policies and then produce a CSV file that contains matching levels and policies that are compatible with records management in Microsoft 365. The CSV file must be used to configure records management in Microsoft 365. Executive requirements. You must be able to restore all email received by Fabricam executives for up to 3 years after an email is received, even if the email was deleted permanently. Next question is, you need to recommend a solution that meets the data loss prevention requirements for the HR department. Which 3 actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Choose 3 options. Option A. Schedule EDM upload agent.exe to hash and upload a data file that contains employee information. Option B. Create a sensitive info type rule package that contains the EDM classification. Option C. Define the sensitive information database schema in the XML format. Option D. Create a sensitive info type rule package that contains regular expressions. Option E. Define the sensitive information database schema in the CSV format. Correct answer is option A, B and C.